Good morning. I'm Jean-Luc Boulnois, the Executive Chairman of FineHeart, and I'd like to introduce you to the ICOMS FlowMaker, a device which is fully implantable in the left ventricle. We have a very senior team. The founder, Arnaud Mascarel, is the CEO and co-founder, together with Stéphane Garrigue, an interventional cardiologist, a cardiac surgeon, and also an electrophysiologist and the inventor of the ICOMS. And I myself have 30 years as an executive in international early-stage companies in the world. We have also a whole team executing our plan. What is the problem of heart failure? It's actually a dreadful disease. It's the second cause of death in the G7 countries. Mortality is 50% at 5 years, and it has more hospitalization than all cancer combined in the US and Europe. The economic cost is astronomical. It exceeds $200 billion per year. There are 330,000 new cases per year, of which only 5,000 get a heart transplant, 7,000 get a left ventricular assist device, and about 120,000 get what's called a CRT, which is the treatment of an electric disease of the heart. Now you're left with about 200,000 untreated patients who have a mechanical disease of a hemodynamic nature, and that is the target of FineHeart. From a human point of view, extremely degrading quality of life, impaired social life, usually a lot of rehospitalization at a cost of $200,000 per year per patient. Now, what is the ICOMS FlowMaker? It's a unique intraventricular device which is powered wirelessly through the skin with no external drive line. It has a pulsatile pump, which is the result of 10 years of research. And the most important feature is that it is synchronized to the natural heartbeat of the heart, and as a result, can provide real-time monitoring and adjustment for cardiologists. This is based on 50 successful preclinical trials that we have done in Europe lately. As you can see on this chart, on the right-hand side is the turbine inside the left ventricle, which is activated during systole to eject volume out of the left ventricle and is stable during diastole. On the left panel, you can see what it actually does during systole. The red curve at the lowest minimum is that of a very severe heart failure patient with about 2.8 liters per minute of cardiac output. And we provide an extra flow with a natural physiologic orientation towards the aorta and bring that to about 5 to 6 liters per minute, which is that of any normal patient in this room today. So the key thing is that it is adapted to every severe heart failure patient. And the reason that it is the case is it's synchronized to the heartbeat of the patient. So it responds to the cardiac demand of the patient at any time during the day, whether they are sleeping, whether they are walking, etc. It is pulsatile, so it respects the natural physiology of the heart, and as a result, it provides an increased cardiac output and an increased flow to the vasculature. This is our clinical pipeline. There's 3 key dates here. 2023, first in human, which we intend to do in a few months from now. Second key date is 2026, where we seek EU approval with a CE marking. And then 2029, we go for a PMA approval in the US. So this is supported by 4 clinical trials. The first one is a 5 to 10 patient for safety. This is the first in human. The next one is a early feasibility study in the US on 10 patients, very sick, NYHA class 4, with a 6-month follow-up to demonstrate safety and efficacy, and start the first step of our activity in the United States. Then we have a particular trial in Europe, about 30 to 50 patients on a destination therapy strategy with a 12-month follow-up to demonstrate the safety and efficacy of the device and obtain CE marking. And then we replicate the same study with a larger population base, a longer follow-up in the US for the PMA approval in 2029. Importantly, we supported the first in-human trial from our Series B, which we raised in 2022, and it goes all the way to 2023. And we are currently starting today to raise our Series C, $65 million, with a hope of the first revenue as a result of the EU approval of CE marking. So essentially, we're going to start with so-called Intermax 3 to 4 patients on a bridge to transplant therapy and expand the indication to a destination therapy over the time as a result of the approval in the United States, which we seek for 2029. And from there on, we will do the same thing in the US. We think we should have revenue in 2029, and as a result, we can expand to more geographic areas as well as more cardiac centers and specialized transplant areas, hospitals. We have a very solid cap table. On the right side, you can see that the founders and management still control about 21%. We created a special vehicle, essentially around cardiologists, cardiac surgeon, and patient families with cardiac disease, which we call FH Founders, which controls about 30% of the capital. So it's in private hands. Then we have our institutional investors, such as Broadview, Verve Capital, M Capital, Erdi, that control about 33% of the equity. And finally, we have brought 2 industrial investors. One is a specialist of implantable devices, Doliam, and together with Lawak, to prepare for the expansion of the company on an industrial basis. Importantly, we recently obtained a very substantial 17 million euro grant, a $17 million grant for our future Series C, which will anchor the financing which we are starting to seek today. And then we have, of course, the support of BPI France and a number of other well-known banks. So what are the priorities? First of all, of course, we've submitted our dossier for the first in-human trials. We will conduct that in Prague, starting in September 2023. We ramp up our manufacturing, and we are starting today the financing round of this Series C. So the key takeaways. This is actually, when you think of it, a game changer. There are no, to the best of our knowledge, there are no devices that actually are active inside the ventricle and that physiologically respect the natural contraction of the heart in order to improve the situation of a patient with severe heart failure. It's disruptive, very well protected. We have about 70 patents around this technology. It's all frozen, ready for implantation into the first patient. We have a clear road to commercialization, really realistic resources. The market is very wide, about $20 billion target market. We think we can commercialize in less than 4 years. We have a very motivated team, and we are raising the Series C as of today, $65 million. And here is the team ready to make this heart beat. Thank you very much.